Alright, so spawning in here on Coda. Actually, let's do the guy in the top left because I think I understand how to do his name.
All right.
It is the blue Zerg player from Finland. Put your hands together for ZhuGeLiang. I think it's Zhu.
Ooh, Gi? I assumed the G was a J.
Oh man, I think it's ZhuGeLiang. Or here, I'll just copy and paste to you.
ZhuGeLiang. Okay, interesting. In the bottom right-hand corner, it is our Japanese player from Team Detonation. His name is Vaisravana.
At least half or 50% of the players here we can pronounce, so that's good. We'll just commentate the one guy and be like, okay, Vaisravana, all day long. But this will be a ZVZ, as we said, and I always love my ZVZs no matter what. The Ling Baneling plays I always enjoy, and more so than the other matchups, it all comes down to positioning. When it's 50 roaches versus 50 roaches, you don't just A-move. It all comes down to the strategy behind how you're trying to position on this map. And there can be some cool things with this map, how you have some rocks in different places and kind of hit the third base in your own unique ways.
Yeah, definitely. And this is something that you mentioned yesterday. You and Draven were talking about this, how in the mirror matchups, there's not really, I mean, there's kind of a sense of counters, like, for units, but most of the units are meant to, quote-unquote, be counters of units from different races. So it gets a little less about what units counter which units and more about, like, how those units are utilized, or, like, kind of more the strategy behind that. I really like that viewpoint of the mirror matchups, which a lot of players would arguably say that mirror matchups are their least favorite.
Yeah, some people really don't like the mirror matchups, but I myself do. Exactly why you just said right there, because it comes down to the position, and it's not quite just let's counter each other and see how it plays out. So far, go ahead.
No, go for it.
So far, we do see our one biggest major deviation here is, I'm gonna butcher it again. I typed it into Skype chat, but we're gonna go for it. So I think it's ZhuGeLiang. Okay, so ZhuGeLiang up here in the top left-hand corner will be going for that hatch. A very early hatch was opponent Vaisravana getting his extractor out. He's got metabolic boost on the way, and really he's provided himself a nice avenue for some aggression if he sees it. And his overlord did spot the natural base, I believe. Yes, it did, and he knows if he wants to pressure into that, it could be a little bit devastating, honestly. ZhuGeLiang is not prepared.
Yeah, but the key here is that he stopped mining gas. So what we're probably going to see is that this could be a speedling all-in. See, the timing of the second hatchery going down, still intend to take in it, but not really intending to mine from it, just to get that extra larva to be able to produce all the lings in the world that he ever wants. So Vaisravana looking to be the aggressor in this first match.
He's definitely looking to be the first aggressor. Well, at least for now, as you can see, Spinecrawler down for ZhuGi. I'm just going to call him ZhuGi from now on because that just works out better. It's shorter.
Yeah.
I'm just calling him Zhu, yeah. Spinecrawler is down for Zhu here. I mean, he's got the queen up, he's got a couple lings, and he is feeling like he's in a nice position. Obviously, his overlord did see the natural base of his opponent, but it did see that it was quite late, so he's still kind of worried and curious about that. Zhu is getting gas now, only mining one, and actually has not done anything about metabolic boost, and it looks like he's going to try to just hold out for a little while and get into more roach tech, into that kind of tier 2, but it's going to be a little bit of an issue holding. Yet on the other hand, Vaisravana honestly isn't putting that much into this. I wonder if he thought it was going to be an all-in from Zhu. And this is kind of his defense. Best defense, good offense.
Yeah. Maybe just thinking that these kinds of early ling aggressions would be more of a common occurrence, or a way for the other player to start setting the pace of the match in the series. So maybe he's just wanting to be super safe and just be safe with that speed, but not like commit to getting the tech for the gas for the banelings and such. So we could see these players are just both willing to just respect each other and kind of do their own thing.
What I really like about Vaisravana down here in the bottom right is because Zhu scouted him, Zhu's actually pumped out a decent amount of lings, he's put up a Spinecrawler, now he's getting his Roach Warren, but he's cut a couple drones here and there. So with that kind of aggressive opening, surprisingly enough, Vaisravana is now a lead just a little bit by workers, and honestly, it may not be the best idea because as long as Zoo didn't get metabolic boost, which as you see he's getting it now, but didn't get it earlier game, sometimes you being aggressive forces out more units of your opponent than you expect, and then you can kind of overrun yourself when you're the one that actually forced them out.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see that Vaisravana is actually taking a third base. So this third base is going to be pretty early in, compared to the third base of ZhuGeLiang. So we're going to see if ZhuGeLiang's going to think about posturing up for attack to punish that, or if he's just going to let it go and get his third base here in just a moment.
I believe Zoo will be going for his third base. As you can see, he's getting rid of that Overlord and just prepping himself for a nice position. But as I say that, actually, 9 roaches, 6 lings coming out. Currently out on the map, he already does have 8 lings. Not a ton, but he made them pretty early on, and it looks like he will be committing to some sort of attack. Queen's trying to get rid of Overlords wherever they can and just providing a safe attack avenue for him.
Yeah, and you know, the more I think about it, he's posturing for this attack. He's getting his third base behind it, but he really wanted to sell that he was going to go for his third base here. So, you know, just pushing that Overlord away that was watching for that third base, you know, is pretty much an indicator for most players that a third base is being taken. But now, pumping out these units too, he just wants to expand pretty safely here. So he's going to force Vaisravana to kind of stop what he's doing and to deal with this attack, while at the same time getting his third base so he can just start droning it automatically.
Vaisravana may be in a little bit of a scary situation right here because of him getting +1 to the roaches. He has delayed a decent amount of his roaches, and actually Zoo is pushing forward here, going for that spine crawl. The Queens could be at jeopardy once these roaches kind of commit to where they're attacking, and now the natural base of Vaisravana is at jeopardy. Yes, we see two more roaches, whatever, but off the back of this, in Zoo's base, 22 more lings coming, and this is looking so good. He's already killed 10 drones. He's really taken Vaisravana by surprise.
Yeah, I don't think he was really expecting that. So when these links, when the army was starting to march across, I think he might have hit a really good timing. I don't know if it was a supply block or not, but he is going to clean this up eventually. But 13 drones down, that is a lot to suffer in the first 10 minutes of this game.
That definitely is a lot. Still more lings on the way and just being really annoying. Gradually, Vaisravana is being able to clean this up, but there's so many lings out and the roaches are coming in one by one. They're not able to pile up and get into a strong group where they can survive, and one by one they're being taken out. Finally, Vaisravana will defend, but after all that, he does lose 13 workers. He will have +1 though, so his roach counterattack is going to be much stronger than his opponent Zoo's.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of good early damage done by oh, look at this in the chat. We have the ZhuGeLiang.
I'm still trying to figure out how to say it, even though he was really nice and spelled it. Because like, there's so many ways I could say the J sound, be whatever. But with that defense, Vaisravana's defense, even though he lost a decent amount of drones, that actually puts him so far ahead with +1, +2 on the way roach speed. He's going to be able to just outmass his opponent. But on the left-hand side, we can see Zoo he's going for counterattacks, and that's how he's going to be able to get back in this, especially with the roach v roach fights, either keeping Vaisravana's roaches back or inflicting some economic damage.
Yeah, definitely here. So you make a great point about Vaisravana just being, he suffered some of those drone losses, but he is pretty far ahead in tech. We see that +1 is just finishing up for our blue Zerg player, as well as just getting that lair right now. And so our blue Zerg player definitely looking to just get an infestation pit, might even just try to get around the upgrade race just by going for those infestors really quickly.
The lings actually of Zoo do try to dash into Vaisravana's third base, but won't quite be able to make it happen. Although, I think they kind of spotted these roaches coming out. Doesn't matter, though, because there is enough Overlords to spot them. And now, let's see what Zoo does off the back of this. He's got spines. He does have roach speed and +2 on the way. Actually, is that +2? Yeah, that is +2. But again, Vaisravana, he has the upgrade lead. He has everything he needs. He only needs to wait about 10-15 seconds, and then he's going to be able to take this, but he does not want to overcommit with this small amount of roaches and lose his lead.
Yeah, and we saw that he did have more roaches on the map, but some of those roaches were back at the third base defending for that ling run by, so what he could commit was just a handful of roaches, and they weren't going to get anything done, so he smartly just pulls back.
That is very, very smart of him, and one big thing just to notice is that this entire time, or not actually the entire time, but because of those early drone losses that Vaisravana suffered, his third base only now is actually getting saturated, and here actually in the bottom left is some more lings. Oh, Zoo's he feels it. He knows he can make it happen, but no, the Roaches will deny it. But like I was saying, just the third base of Zoo, just slightly quicker in these situations with the drones, and now kind of getting himself into a solid mid game, even with that deficit upgrade wise. Off the back of this, Vaisravana is not really. He's keeping the upgrades going, but not going to a crazy extent where Zoo can't catch up. And Zoo himself is honestly, I mean, he's getting Hydra, he's getting Infestation Pit. He's deviating from Roaches and not saying, you know what, I'm not going to match you 1-for-1 because he will beat me in that. But if I mix in some other units, Hydras, or maybe even Infestors, honestly, he can do a lot more damage.
Yeah, we see that he has 2 Infestors already in his pack, so those Infestors have been out for a little while, so they're going to have plenty of energy for fungal growth for the big engagement when that starts here. And we do see Vaisravana is actually going to break down these rocks, so or even just, it looks like just weaken him at this point, and then going to push out for his attack.
Basically just making sure if the army's in the middle of the map, if at least his opponent, maybe he can take down those rocks quickly and kind of get a better angle on his opponent. But now we're seeing the big fight going down. 130 armies applied 130. It's pretty darn even, but there are these 2 Infestors. Thankfully, each of them do have fungals. We'll see how good the fungals are. One beautiful fungal goes down. A very nice concave of Zoo going into Vaisravana's kind of convex in the situation, but it's looking... Actually, I think Zoo's going to successfully defend here, even though Vaisravana has a slight upgrade lead.
Yeah, Vaisravana having that upgrade lead with the +2 attack. ZhuGeLiang just got his +2 attack here recently, and with that Infestors and those like 3 or 4 Hydras that are built into there, just was able to out DPS the Roaches from Vaisravana. So winning that first engagement and really put Vaisravana in a supply deficit in army supply. So being down 30 supply, he's going to go ahead and get his 4th base here and try to get caught up so he can just re-macro up.
I'm a little bit worried here for Vaisravana because not even talking about losing that battle, but we're at the 16-minute mark. Yes, he's on a 4th base, but we're not seeing a Hydralisk Den come out or Infestation Pit. Nothing higher tech and kind of looking into the future. And yes, Roach, just mass Roach v mass Roach colliding can work, but when Zoo has been given enough time to get up a couple Infestors, to get Hydras, it's not the point. It's not kind of those few seconds where Zoo is tech switching and then you hit. It's after that. He's already got his tech in. Just Roach v Roach Hydra Infestor is not quite going to work out. Maybe with Tunneling Claws, though, we do see them.
True, and he's not even getting Hive Tech as well, so the +3 option to be ahead in upgrades is not going to be an option that's going to be coming out here very time soon, because they are even on the range attack, but he does hold the lead, Vaisravana does, for the armor upgrade, just for a little bit here, but we'll see that's going to start even out as the time goes on.
Third base of Zoo, a nice little Roach counterattack does go in, just 3-4 Roaches. They did have Tunneling Claws and Burrow, but won't matter. But out in the middle of the map going on right now, Vaisravana is being very aggressive, actually slightly move commands into the main army of Zoo, but he was paying attention. Beautiful fungals go down. Still 3 Infestors are alive with some fungals on them. Hydras providing a little bit of extra DPS, and with the fungals locking down the main Roach armies, the Hydras are actually able to DPS them down, but it's the concave of Vaisravana just too good.
No, Vaisravana's going to go ahead and pull back here, so being very close despite that just early move command here. But I think the Infestors are the ones that are for ZhuGeLiang, keeping him in this game.
Man, I'm just calling him Zoo at this point, Hawkeye. I'm not even going to try. It's too long of a name in the play-by-play to be like, okay, now I can say it.
Yeah, no, I feel
That's basically what it sounds like.
Yeah, Zoo, a little bit of a Roach counterattack on the 4th base for Vaisravana, and Vaisravana doesn't have anything over here, so he's going to have to move his units over, but he does have the Burrow, so the Jones go in, and without detection, Roaches are going to sit around. They don't think anything's here.
Oh, another battle will go down again, but just again and again with the Infestors, with the higher tech. Yes, you can go mass Roaches, but you can't go mass Roaches when your opponent has already secured their higher tech. GG! I don't know if I want to try it, but we'll just say ZhuGeLiang has taken Game 1, and like I was saying, the Roaches were looking so good. I liked the 4th base idea, but he needed something off the back of that. He did not hit a timing where maybe, for example, Zoo was trying to switch to Infestor Hydra, something like that. Or that's not really composition, but trying to mix in Infestor's Hydras so he had some extra supply, and then the Roaches would have overwhelmed. But as you mentioned, Hawkeye, after not getting up to Hive, kind of giving up his upgrade lead, barely, Zoo was able to take it back and really played a nice game for both players.
Yeah, and we see that both players, like, I wouldn't say that there's any, like, They were
Pretty even.
very laid back, but it was one of those games that they both kind of were. They weren't trying anything special. They were just, trying to feel each other out, probably going their normal way of playing about ZVZ, and just kind of seeing who comes out, just to get an idea how the other player plays, because they're from two different regions, and we're not sure if they have any encounters with each other in the past. So this could be formally their first time playing against each other.
That is a fantastic point, Hawkeye, and not only kind of feeling out your opponent, but there in ZVZ, there's two types of Zerg players. You have, I guess, kind of your reactionary and the ones that do the same thing each game. And with the reactionary, generally, it's okay, I'm gonna go Lings if I see some Ling pressure out of you, but we're both kind of holding back, and it was really interesting watching Zhu right there. He thought there was going to be a Ling pressure. He got a spine up, he got Lings up himself, and that is where the kind of lead, actually, interesting enough, came from Vaisravana. But with Zhu, it was a reaction. He decided to make some Lings and never be aggressive with them, so I'd like